Welcome to your exclusive presentation of Remsen St. Mary's Hawk Athletics on Fuller Digital Solutions.
Kind of doing some indoor practice and some indoor batting. So, first of all, who am I speaking with?
Maya Bunkers.
Maya, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. So, Maya, for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, let's start off by introducing yourself, how old you are, who your parents are, and that sort of thing.
Okay, I'm 18 years old. My parents are Jeremy and Stacy Bunkers, and I have 3 other siblings. Hallie Bunkers that plays on the team, and then Jackson Bunkers and Jace Bunkers.
Gotcha. Awesome. So, obviously a senior on the team this year. So, what's something this year that you've really embraced kind of as that upperclassman now for the second year and that leadership role here on the team?
I'd just say, taking it all in as a senior is a lot different than the rest of the 4 years that we played because you know it's your last.
Sure.
And playing with the younger girls for one last time in the last sport is a lot to take in.
Yeah, absolutely. And for kind of your last go-around, doing very, very well here so far. So kind of in your thoughts as one of the, obviously, main contributors and seniors, what do you really attribute the success that you guys have had this year to?
I'd just say confidence and trusting each other. That's about it. You got to trust your pitchers. Every position counts, no matter where you're at.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And I would say that in baseball or softball, it's almost just as much mental, that confidence aspect of the things, as much as it is physical. So it's good to see that that's kind of where you feel that you guys excel. Mm-hmm. Talk about positions and where you play out on the field.
I usually play shortstop, but I've been catching a couple games too. So
gotcha. So ultimately, wherever you need to be to help the team be successful. Talk to me a little bit about the shortstop position. Now, that's one where high volume, a lot of work, a lot of workload coming to you there. So your thoughts on that position?
I like shortstop a lot better because usually you have more things to be doing than catching. You're in a routine, but shortstop you have so many things you have to covering and all of that. So I definitely like the shortstop position better because it keeps your brain focused on the game.
Sure, gotcha. Always in it and that sort of thing. Now talk to me about batting this year and how you've done so far in the offensive department.
I've done pretty good. Not as good as I could be, but I'm just trying to drive the ball any way I can get on, really.
Gotcha.
I don't like walking or striking out, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, any way to get on, just whether it's a single, double, triple, home run, any way you can help your team offensively, I'm sure your input's invaluable there. Now, any goals that you have, either for yourself or from an entire team standpoint, that you'd really like to accomplish this year?
Probably just the team actually making it past the first round for 1 year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds like a plan, and you guys are really moving in the right direction so far this year to be doing that. And then I like to ask all my seniors, now you are a graduated senior, correct? So do you have any idea what we're going to be doing here come fall?
Yep, I'm playing softball at Nyack in Mason City.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Maya. Thanks so much for chatting with me, and
Thank
best
you.
of luck the rest of this season.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Maya Bunkers. She's the first brave soul to take on the interviews, and now we have another Hawk. Who am I speaking with?
Carmen D. Ricky.
Carmen, how are you doing?
Good. How about you?
Doing great. So, kind of for our viewers, listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, let's introduce yourself, how old you are, who your parents are.
I'm Carmen D. Ricky. I'm 19 years old, and my parents are Brent and Allison Ricky.
Gotcha. So, are you another one of the seniors on the team this year?
Yes.
Gotcha. So, tell me a little bit about kind of in your experience how this year has gone. Is there anything different that you feel about this year than other years? You guys have been very, very successful so far.
I think that just individually everybody has grown so much in the past couple years, and we just became stronger and stronger as the years have gone on.
Gotcha. Do you play any other sports or did you play any
other
sports?
I play basketball and volleyball.
Gotcha. So I feel like especially at small schools like this, it's one of those things you're playing sports with the same girls kind of year round, and I'm sure that helps. You're always competing and with that same group. So what do you feel is kind of the team chemistry like?
Yeah, we definitely know how each and every person moves, having to play with each other for so many years and not having to play with as many people, and so we just know what each person's going to do and how to play off of them.
Sure, Right, absolutely. Now, talk to me positionally, kind of where you're at on.
I play
defense.
right field, and then sometimes I play third base.
Gotcha. So, talk to me about that right field position because I think there's kind of a misconception, especially T-ball, and they kind of just chuck you out in right field, But at the high school level, and especially if you have effective pitchers like Remsen St. Mary's does, who have good fastballs, right-handed batters are going to be late, and those balls do come to right field. So, I mean, what are kind of your thoughts on that position?
Different from T-ball for sure, but there's a lot more to like the outfield than people think. But like knowing where to go with the ball when there's a deep hit or when it's short, and ground balls and fly balls, there's just so much more that people don't understand that
Sure.
goes on in the outfield.
Gotcha. Now talk to me about offensively. When you do get the chance to, see an at-bat at the plate, what's your approach, if you will, or kind of something you like to keep in mind up at bat?
My approach is to always get a hit, but sometimes that doesn't work. And some days you have better at-bats at the plate than others, but I always try to just put the ball in play.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's not going to work all the time. I mean, baseball and softball, majority of the time you are failing, and if that's happening, you're probably doing good. So it's one of those things that just having the mentality of I'm hitting this every time, it's going to pay off for you. So I really like that. Talk to me about any goals you have, either for yourself the rest of the season, from a team standpoint, or anything to that nature.
As a team, I think it'd be great to go to state and win a state championship, but we know that takes a lot of hard work and dedication.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are kind of well on your way to. I just think in my mind for teams that end up doing that, their season looks an awful lot like your season has this far. So, it's just kind of sky is the limits for you guys, I believe. I want to ask all the seniors, do you have any idea what you're doing here next fall?
I'm going to Iowa Central and Fort Dodge to rodeo.
Ooh, gotcha.
Yes.
So are you a barrel racer?
Yes, I
Awesome.
am.
All righty. Love the rodeo. We just had the Cherokee rodeo not too long ago. Oh, love me some rodeo.
Yes.
And I'm the sports director. Rodeo is a sport, 100%. All righty. Well, thanks for chatting
Thank
with me.
you.
Wish you the best of luck
Thank
in your
you.
future endeavors. Thank you. All righty. And our next Remsen St. Mary's Hawk. Who am I speaking with?
Claire Schrader.
Claire, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Great to meet you. And now tell us a little bit about yourself for those viewers who don't know who you are. Let's go with how old you are, who your parents are, and that sort of thing.
I'm 19 years old, and my parents are Russ and Michelle Schrader.
Gotcha. So you're a senior on the team, obviously. Is that correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. So kind of tell me from your perspective, because the seniors, you guys have obviously been around and kind of have seen what you have done in the past 3 years. So to me, is there anything different about this year or unique that has allowed you guys to be as successful as you have so far?
I'd say something that's different this year is that we're now the seniors, so we're the leaders, and so we have to pass on everything we know to these younger girls so that they can keep this success going in the future.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about some of the younger girls. Obviously, that's a part of kind of every sport in that way. You got to pass on what you know to that next generation. So I'm sure you've had a lot of interactions with some of the younger girls. Are you in good hands? Is the team in good hands after you leave, would you say?
So yeah, they've definitely had a lot of learning opportunities. This year's really been big on they've found out things they really didn't even know before. So
Sure.
that's always good, and I think they've done a pretty good job at taking it all in and trying to understand it so that they can play to our level and all that stuff. So
Yeah, awesome. Talk to me kind of position-wise where you're at in the defensive side of things.
I play center field.
Gotcha. So center field, we know you got the wheels. We know you're obviously, a state champion hurdler. So, tell me a little bit about that center field position. That's a unique one, kind of not only the leader of the outfield, but really a true leader on the whole field. So tell me, are you comfortable with that leadership role in the center?
Yeah, I've played center my whole life of playing softball, and I've really never played anywhere else, and I just love being out there. The only bad thing is when you get that gap ball or something, because it can be a lot of running. But
Yeah, gotcha.
but yeah,
Gotcha.
I love being out there, and I just it's fun.
It's good track comes before softball,
Yeah.
so you're in shape enough, and then, perfect.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit now about kind of your offensive philosophy, or when you go up to bat, what's your approach or something you like to keep in mind?
So I'm a slapper, but I also swing away now more this year, and so now it's on me to read the defense, because sometimes they'll play up on me or they'll play back on me. So just having to read the defense and change my offensive at bat so that I can put the ball in play and stuff it can be a lot, but it's like a good learning opportunity.
Thing that makes good players in any sport is really the ability to make adjustments on the fly. If you're able to literally, when you're at the plate, make a decision based on how you see the defense, it just makes it that much more of an advantage. So now I want to ask you, obviously, as a senior here, do you have any idea what we're doing here coming up next fall?
I'm going to attend BVU, and I'm going to run track, and I'm going to study pre-vet. So.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Claire, thanks so much for chatting with me. Best of
luck
the rest of the
Thank
season.
You.
Alrighty, that was Claire Schrader. And now passing the microphone to our next Hawk. How are we doing?
Good.
Awesome. Who am I speaking with?
Octavia Gallus.
How are you doing?
Good.
Great. So kind of tell me, Octavia, introduce yourself for our viewers who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's go with who your parents are and how old you are.
My parents are Angie and Lee Gallus, and I am 19 years old.
Gotcha. So are another senior on the team?
Yep.
A lot of seniors now, and that's one of the things that I'm sure I'll talk with Coach a little bit later, and he'll say that you guys are really invaluable to the team. What's it like with the relationship with your teammates, especially with your fellow seniors?
We all get along really well, and we're just enjoying being able to play one last year together.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of, I'm sure you played other sports as well for Remsen St. Mary's, and it's one of those things where it's like, same girls play all the same sports, and you guys get really, really close. And I think that's an advantage where maybe some bigger schools don't have that. They kind of have to maybe meet everybody, or not meet everybody, but play with each other for the first time each and every year. So it's an advantage for small schools, I'd say. Tell me a little bit about the positions you play on the field.
This year I've been playing first. Last year I had to play third, but first has always been my favorite, so I'm glad I get to play it this year.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about that first base position. Obviously, that one's a little unique. Anytime the ball's put in play, there's a good chance that you're going to come in contact with it there on the back end of the play. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on first base?
There's actually a lot you have to, remember of and, backing up to.
Sure.
And there's, way more than just catching the ball.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you think is a real strength of yours in terms of defense when you play first?
Well,
I think some people, it's I can stop the ball. It's because it's a first baseman. It's like sometimes your teammates may not give you the best throw, it might be in the dirt, but it's like you still got to pick it and that sort of thing. So that awesome. Now talk to me offensively. Do we have kind of what's your approach when you get up to bat?
I want to hit the ball hard.
Hit the ball hard. No, I mean, and that's the thing. It's some people. They kind of look at me like that's just simple. Hit the ball hard. No, that's exactly right. If you think too much, have too much going on, it can hinder you instead of help you. So just hit the ball hard, hard on the line, hard on the ground. Awesome. Now, any goals you either have for yourself or from an entire team standpoint this year?
Goal for the team is just make this state again and hopefully do better than last year.
Gotcha. Awesome. Just kind of constantly improving each and every year. Great. Octavia, I'd like to also ask all the seniors, do you have any idea what you're going to be doing here come this fall?
I'm going to UNI for elementary education.
Awesome. Well, Octavia, thank you so much for chatting with me. We wish you the best of luck this season and also in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, that was Octavia Gallus. And now we're going to have the next Hawk coming up to the table. Alrighty, and who am I speaking with?
Hallie Gallus.
Hallie, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. So kind of, for those of people who don't know who you are, introduce yourself, kind of how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
Okay, I'm 18 and my parents are Barry and Melissa Gallus.
Gotcha. So 18, are you going to be a senior, or did you
Nope,
just
I am a
graduate?
senior. Nope, I am. So, I graduated, yeah.
Gotcha, awesome. So, kind of your senior season here, the summer after your senior year, tell me one thing kind of in your mind, being around for a while. Is there anything different about this year as to why you guys have been able to be so successful up to this point? I mean, you guys are undefeated.
I think that we just have a really big drive to win. It's our last year, and it's our last sport, so it's our last time being a Hawk, and we just want to finish what we started how many years ago, because we've been doing it our whole lives, so we just want to finish hard.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, what's the relationship like with your fellow seniors? I mean, you guys, like you said, you play every sport together, and it's really you guys are together all the time, I'm sure. Yeah,
we're very close, and we always want to compete, so we push each other, and we always make each other better. So we've been competing since we were in first grade, so we like to push each other and see what we can do and help us all be our best.
Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about kind of your role on defense, what positions you play, and that sort of thing.
I catch mostly, and then if I'm not catching, I'll play right field.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about that catcher position. That's, I think, in my mind, the most unique position on the field. I mean, you're the only person face that other way. You have the full comprehensive view of the entire field, and you have to be vocal. You have to really communicate. Kind of, what are your thoughts on when you play the catcher position?
I really like it. I enjoy it just because I'm in every play, so I don't have time to be distracted. I just
Right.
I have every ball is always in my hands, so
Yeah.
I like to be loud, and even if I miscommunicate things or if I say something wrong, I know that my team already knows what the next play is, so I don't have to worry about like telling them to do something wrong because they always know what they're doing. So it's less pressure just because I have a really good rest of my infield. So
Yeah,
it's,
and that's one thing that's I think is super underrated is, I mean, the fact that you literally just said it, you don't have to worry about what everyone else is doing. There's that trust, and you know that they're going to do their job, and if a ball's hit to them, they're going to do their thing and get the out. So that's great to see because not all schools are like that. Now tell me a little bit about any goals you have, either for yourself or from an entire team standpoint that you really like to accomplish this year.
I think that I really want to work on just thriving off of everything, even if there's mistakes, don't get down on myself, and to help bring the 8th graders down to state and see what it's like to compete and show them that we can compete with big schools that we've never seen before.
Yeah, because in my mind, it's like, yes, you guys as seniors, you guys obviously want to get down to state and be successful, but that's invaluable for some of those younger kids because going down there, it's like once you get there, you want to go back. And
Yeah.
so it's one of those things that is kind of compounded throughout the future. So any idea what you're going to be doing here coming up this fall?
Yeah, I'm going to go to PCI Academy in Ames for cosmetology.
Awesome, awesome. We wish you the best of luck and the rest of this season, also in your future endeavors. Thanks for
Thank
chatting
you.
with me. Thank you. All righty. All right, on our next Remsen St. Mary's Hawk is, who am I speaking to?
Marina Cronin.
Marina, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. So, kind of for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, kind of introduce yourself, how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
I'm Marina Cronin. I'm a senior. My parents are Kent and Sheila Cronin.
Gotcha. So, are you going to be a senior or you graduated?
I graduated.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Yep.
So, kind of your senior season, your last sports season here at, I've kind of been asking the seniors because there are quite a few of you guys. I mean, what's something that you've seen about this year in particular? Is there anything different really that's allowed you guys to be as successful as you've been up to this point?
I feel like our bats, our offense is a lot stronger, definitely.
Sure, just maybe a little more pop in the bats than you've had in previous years.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
And our mentality too. We're a lot more confident at the plate.
Sure, and I tell you what, baseball and softball are just as much mental as they are physical. If you get in your head and if you can't forget mistakes and can't be confident, then that's not really a recipe for success. Tell me a little bit about the positions you play in the field.
So I play pitcher. I usually start for varsity, and then I also play second base, and I play some third base too, and really wherever they want me, but usually it's just second and third and pitcher.
Yeah, gotcha. So that's really the mentality you have to have. Wherever the team needs me to win, I'll be able to do. Talk to me about pitching. When you do get the opportunity to step in the circle and kind of show your stuff from that perspective, what's something that you really find is a strong suit of yours?
I like to kind of get in the batters' heads a little bit by
Sure.
throwing different speeds and different spots, really throwing them off, making them think when they're in the box.
Yep.
Just kind of making them a little bit less confident so that I can be more confident out there.
Yeah.
So my team can be more confident behind me on the field.
Gotcha. And now talk to me a little bit offensively. When you do get the chance to get in the batter's box and have an AB, what's kind of your hitting approach or something you like to think about?
I like to think about my counts like we do in practice. Like 2-0, I'm looking for a good pitch to hit, and that's kind of where I've been at this year, just looking for those pitches and driving them as hard as I can.
Yeah, and that's really, to me, how you can tell a high-level ball player when it's literally a different approach for each count, because that's truly the situation changes each pitch. So that's great to hear that you kind of have that IQ. Talk to me. Do we know what we're going to do here coming this fall?
Yep. So I'm going down to Simpson College in Indianola. That's 20 minutes south of Des Moines, and I'm going for softball, and then I'm going to major in criminal justice, possibly.
Awesome. Well, Marina,
Yep.
thanks so much for chatting with me, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of this year and also in your future.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, that was Marina Cronin. Alrighty. And who am I speaking with now?
Tessa Tenniger.
How are you doing, Tess?
Good, how are you?
Awesome, doing great. So, kind of introduce yourself for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's go with how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
So I'm 18 years old, and my parents are Chad and Susan Tenniger, and I'll be a senior this year.
Gotcha. So, gonna be a senior
Yep.
this coming year. So,
Yep.
talk to me a little bit about how you feel. I mean, very, very large senior class,
Yes,
and this is going to be
yeah.
obviously their last hurrah.
Mhm.
But obviously, you've got one more year coming
Yeah.
back. So, what are kind of your thoughts, this year and then for the future here at Remsen?
So we're doing really good this year. We have a great team, a lot of good seniors. But next year it'll be like a lot different with them not here. It'll be a lot of stepping up and a lot of leadership. But I think we'll be just fine.
Gotcha. And exactly, that was going to really be what I asked next. You're an upperclassman.
Mhm.
You're going to be a senior, so you've obviously had a chance to interact with some of these younger kids.
Yeah.
And are you confident in you guys' ability to have those younger kids step up and fill some spots that are going to be vacant?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of learning, obviously, still to do because they're just young. But I think we can do it, get it done, because we start in January. So I feel like we'll have enough time before the actual season starts to learn a lot.
Gotcha. And really, that's what it takes is time.
Mhm.
Like you said, more
Yeah.
reps, they'll get it and hang a swing of
Mhm.
things. And before you know it, you'll be the senior, and then they'll be the seniors. So,
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about the positions you play. What your role is
So
defensively.
for freshman or for varsity, I play second base.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about that position because that's obviously one of the two middle infielders.
Yeah.
And to me, second and shortstop have a really kind of close-knit
Mhm.
communication. They have to really know what the other one's doing in a sense. So
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on your relationship with the other middle infielder?
So my freshman year, I was like in and out of second, and then Maya was the shortstop as well. So it was like a lot of because I've never played second base before, so it was a lot of injury. But then this year, I've learned to like the second base a lot more, and I've just learned a lot overall.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to me offensively. You get the chance to have an AB and get up to the plate to bat. What's your hitting approach?
We normally, Jeremy Bunkers always tells us to have an OO approach, be aggressive, but discipline yourself, have good pitch selection, and just put the ball in play.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about any goals that you have either for yourself for the rest of the season or kind of from a team standpoint that you'd really like to see accomplished.
For our team, of course, I want to make it to state, but most of all, just make it past the first round and beat the first
Sure.
team we play.
Sure. Awesome. Well, Tessa, thanks so much for speaking with me, and we wish you the best of luck there coming up in the rest of your season.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That was Tessa Tenniger. Alrighty, and our next Remsen St. Mary's Hawk. Who am I speaking with?
I'm Hallie Bunkers.
Hallie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. So, kind of introduce yourself for our viewers and our listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's go with how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
Okay, I'm Hallie Bunkers. I'm going to be a sophomore. I'm 15, and my parents are Jeremy Bunkers, who's an assistant coach, and then Stacy Bunkers.
Gotcha. So, gonna be a sophomore this year. Is that what you said, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. So, tell me a little bit now. Obviously, were you on the team as a freshman as well?
Yes.
Gotcha. So now coming back in, not your first year, not your second year, but probably your third year on the team now. And what's really something that you feel like you've gotten better at over the course of this year?
Probably getting along with the upperclassmen. They've obviously taught me so much, so just learning from them.
Gotcha. Kind of. They're going to be gone here soon, so you got to kind of steal that knowledge while you got it here, I'm sure. Tell me a little bit about the defensive positions that you play.
I've been playing third most of the season. I played a couple at short, and then I've had to go into a game at right field. So I'm kind of all over the place.
Gotcha. Wherever I'm sure you need to be put to help the team, I'm sure you're willing to do.
Yep.
Talk to me about that third base position. Now that the hot corner, as they call it, obviously a very heavy workload, high volume of opportunities over there at the hot corner. So what's kind of your philosophy, or what do you think is the most important thing to remember playing third?
I really like it because every time there's a bunt, I know I have to be there to cover it, and I just like to be in the game. So if there's 1 out or 0 outs, I know there might be a bunt coming, and then otherwise I'm back at my base.
Gotcha. Awesome. Now talk to me kind of any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint, that you really like to accomplish this year.
Just keep attacking the ball. When I have a bad game, I know the next game I have another opportunity to fix that. So.
Awesome. Well, Holly, thanks so much for chatting with me, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty.
Go.
Wait for some.
Go.
Awesome. Alrighty. Okay, our next St. Mary's Hawk, and who am I speaking with?
I'm Josie Shookrath.
How are you doing, Josie?
Good.
Awesome. So let's kind of start by introducing yourself, how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
I'm 17 years old, and my parents are Scott and Julie Shookrath.
Gotcha. So 17, are you gonna be a senior this year?
Junior.
Gonna be a junior this
Yep.
next year. Awesome. Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about some maybe things you've learned here in your first couple of years that you really think you've improved upon this year.
My at-bats. My
At-bats.
at-bats have become a lot stronger over the past years.
Gotcha. What would you say is kind of your approach at the plate?
To look for a good pitch and to drive it up the middle.
Gotcha. Kind of just work through the middle.
Yep.
And, if you're off to the right or left slightly, that's obviously going to be a hit as well. So,
Yep.
Tell me a little bit now defensively. Where do you find yourself out in the field position-wise?
Pitching.
Pitching. Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about when you do pitch and you are in the circle, kind of your pitching philosophy, what you like to remind yourself or like to make sure you do.
I just like to throw strikes because I know I have a great defense behind me. So if I hit the ball, it doesn't matter because I have a great defense.
Absolutely right. And that's one thing that not all pitchers realize is you don't have to get strikeouts to be a good pitcher. It's really you have to throw strikes to be a good pitcher and let your defense kind of work behind you. And how does that feel to know that you do have such a good defense that kind of has your back every game?
It feels so good.
Yeah.
It really boosts my confidence when I go up on the mound.
Yeah, and could kind of maybe take more risks maybe
Yeah.
than you otherwise could have.
Yeah.
If you maybe leave one over the middle a little bit too far, then your defense will maybe pick you up as well.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit now about any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint this year.
As a team, to make it to state and at least make it past the first round. Because we
Gotcha.
struggled over the past years to do that.
Gotcha. Well, you guys are definitely on a trajectory to do just that, as you've started very, very nicely so far this year. So we wish you the best of luck here the rest of the season, Josie, and thanks so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty. Alright, who am I speaking with?
I'm Grace Gallus.
Grace, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. So, kind of for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, why don't you start by telling us how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah. I am 17 years old. I just finished my sophomore year, and my parents are Bart and Kelly Gallus. Yes, I was.
Gotcha. So now kind of year 3 of being on the team. I really like that. Anything you really have to do to make the team successful, and that's really what it takes to be a successful team. Now, tell me, your offense and your offensive game, kind of what's your hitting philosophy, or how do you really think you do up to bat?
Hitting, yeah, I start looking down the middle for that strike that I think I can drive, and, as the strikes get on me, I have to protect more, but definitely working at the beginning of my count, looking for my one pitch. That's my offense when I'm batting.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm super excited to talk to Coach about this, too. I mean, you guys really do have your approach down, and you guys are always, sometimes I think, people just go up to bat and they don't always have a plan, and they're just kind of up there. It seems that you guys really are knowing what to do depending on the count, depending on the situation, and that sort of thing. So that's really great to see. Now, any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint, that you'd like to accomplish the rest of this year?
Yeah, make it just to make a good run. It's a fun group of girls, and we'll miss the seniors, so I want to have a good last year. And yeah, I want to keep getting better at the outfield for sure this year, maybe. I haven't got a catch yet, so that'd be cool to get one before the end of the year, but
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for chatting with me, Grace. I really appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of this year.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty. Alrighty. Who am I speaking with?
Lana.
Lana, how are you doing?
Good, you?
Awesome. So, kind of start by introducing yourself. Let's go with how old you are, who your parents are, for any of our viewers who aren't familiar with you.
I'm Lana. I'm a 16-year-old, and
Are you gonna be a sophomore this year, then?
I'm gonna be a junior.
Gonna be a junior. Gotcha. So just finished your sophomore year. Were you on the team kind of as an 8th grader, as a freshman, and now here as a sophomore now?
Yep.
Gotcha. So now your 3rd year. What's something that you're really looking to improve upon this year?
Probably improve on my positivity in games, because sometimes I just get down and it's like, oh no, I have to bring up the mood, because if someone sees me upset, everyone's gonna get upset.
Gotcha. So kind of maybe influence the mood a little bit on the team in that way. I love it. Talk to me about positions you play and where you find yourself out on the field defensively.
Positions I play is center and right, but lately I've been playing a lot of right, and that's like all I've been playing because I don't know, it's just like my spot I like to do.
Gotcha. And tell me a little bit about that right field position, especially up here at the high school level, because there's kind of a misconception to me. It's like when you're in T-ball or coach pitch, they kind of just toss you out in right field, but especially on a very good team with good pitchers who have good fastballs, those right-handed batters, they're going to be late, and a lot of those balls are coming to right field. So, I mean, talk to me about kind of your thoughts when you do get the chance to play right.
When I stand in right, it's like, okay, who's going to be like the strongest hitter and who's going to hit it towards me?
Yeah.
And like, I'm not ready, but when the ball comes my way, I'm like, okay, let's just turn back because my first step's always back. And then
Absolutely.
It's like the target to get to the ball before the ball flies over my head.
Yep. I like it there. You just said it. First step's always back. Nothing over your head. Can't let anything behind you. So I see that you kind of have already definitely gotten the handle of that right field position for sure. Talk to me offensively. How do you feel like your bat has been this year? Are there any things that you've kind of identified you need to work on or things you're trying to get better at?
My batting has been actually somewhat good, but like when the ball goes by and it's a strike, I get down like, how did I let this ball get by? Because
Right.
I know it's like a strike.
Sure.
But then when it gets to 2 strikes, it's like, okay, I have to get this ball in play because if I don't hit it, it's like I feel like I'm going to let my team down a little bit. But then it's like, who's going to even remember this?
Sure.
Because they're all going to remember all the good moments we had.
Yeah, and baseball and softball are one of those things where if you are failing 70% of the time, you're being successful 30% of the time, that's fantastic. If you're batting 300, you take that all day. So you're going to fail more than you succeed in baseball or softball, but exactly like you said, kind of just got to stay confident in yourself. So great to hear that that's something you're working on. So tell me a little bit now, any goals you have, either for yourself or for kind of the entire team come the end of the season.
My goal is probably to be like more of a like inspiration a little bit to the team, like
Gotcha.
not to get down on yourself, just always stay positive because if you stay positive, your team's going to be happy with what you're doing.
Absolutely, and I think baseball and softball, it's almost just as much mental as it is physical. If your mind's not in it, then it's not a recipe for success. So super important to keep those up. So awesome. Thanks for chatting with me, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of this year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty. Who am I speaking with?
Mia Mackin.
How are you doing, Mia?
Good.
Awesome. So start off by kind of introducing yourself, how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
I'm 15. My parents are Michael and Kristen Mackin.
Gotcha. So 15, are you going to be a freshman?
I'm going to be a sophomore.
Got to be a sophomore. Gotcha. Were you on the team as an 8th grader and now a freshman as well?
Yep.
Gotcha. So now, obviously, year 2 on the team. What's something that you're really looking to improve upon even more so than your very first year?
I'd like to improve more on my hitting and then just like trying harder, knowing I can make mistakes.
Sure. Kind of maybe if you do make mistakes, which will happen in softball, that you kind of got to wipe them away and kind of move on to the next one. I like that. Now talk to me position-wise, kind of where do you find yourself out in the field?
Normally I'm in center, but I played left and right, and then sometimes like every couple games I'll play second base for an inning.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about kind of the outfield. Now, do you think there's much difference between center, left, and right, or kind of which one do you prefer, or which one do you feel more comfortable at?
I think there's a big difference just because, like, center, they can see the whole field, so, like, they know where the ball's going, and it's, like, their job to kind of tell everyone where to move around.
Sure.
And I like center a lot.
Awesome. Great to hear. Any goals that you have, either kind of for yourself or from an entire team standpoint that you'd like to accomplish this year?
For myself, I just like to play varsity for a game and then run more for like get better.
Awesome, gotcha. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Mia, and your rest of your season here, and best of luck here the rest of your future.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And that was Mia Mackin. And now our next Remsen St. Mary's Hawk. Who am I speaking with?
Alinaki.
How are you doing?
Good.
Great to hear. So let's start by introducing yourself for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's go with who your parents are, how old you are, that sort of thing.
Okay, I'm Alinaki, and
Oh, sorry. Hold on, Allie. Flip the headset around.
okay.
There we go. Perfect. There we go. And put this right up here. All righty. Now we can hear you. All right. Go ahead, Allie.
I'm Alan. My parents are Melissa Naki and Steve Naki.
Gotcha. So, how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
Gotcha. So, are you gonna be a sophomore this next year?
I'm gonna be a freshman.
You're gonna be a freshman. Gotcha. So, how has it been here as kind of an 8th grader, gonna be a freshman on the team? Has it been kind of difficult up here at the high school level, or what are your thoughts?
It's been really fun playing with them, and I think I learned a lot from them.
Sure. They're obviously very successful so far this season, and like you mentioned, kind of being a sponge and trying to soak up everything you can while they're here. Awesome. Love to hear it. Talk to me about kind of the positions that you play on defense.
I play first base, and I play a little bit of second base.
Gotcha. So talk to me about that first base position. Now, that's one where obviously if it's anything hitting the infield, it's coming to you, and you're going to touch the ball a lot. So talk to me about your thoughts about that position.
I have to get to first base and I have to catch it, and I'm just thinking through my head, trying to think what's gonna happen next
Sure.
play.
Gotcha. Awesome. Talk to me about your batting. How has that gone this year? Have you identified anything you need to improve on this year?
I think I'm doing really good in batting. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Kind of. What do you think? I mean, are you hitting the ball hard? Do you find that? Do you not strike out very often? What are kind of your thoughts there?
I feel like I'm hitting the ball pretty good.
Yeah. Awesome. Great to hear. Now, talk to me. Any goals that you have, either for yourself or from an entire team standpoint, come the end of this year?
I hope to get up to the varsity level next year and just try my best to do really good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Allie, thanks so much for chatting with me. We wish you the best of luck this year.
Yep.
Thank you. All righty. And our next Remsen St. Mary's Hawk up to bat, if you will. And who am I chatting with?
Brianna Sheehan.
Brianna, how are you doing?
Good. You?
Awesome. Doing great. So let's start off by introducing yourself for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's go with who your parents are. They might be familiar with them, or how old you are, that sort of thing.
Okay. My parents are Neil and Crystal Sheehan, and I'm going into 8th grade. Nope, 9th grade.
Gotcha. So gonna be a freshman. You
Yep.
are an 8th grader. Gonna be a freshman. So talk to me a little bit. This is obviously your first year up at the high school level. Has it been difficult to make that transition up here? Has it been easy? Kind of. What are your thoughts?
I haven't been able to play this whole year because I fractured my patella, so I'm kind of just watching and learning more.
Gotcha. We see you got the wrap on here, so
Yep.
kind of just observing for this year.
Yep.
Do you play any other sports here for Remsen?
Basketball.
Or do you plan to play any other?
Basketball, volleyball.
Gotcha. Awesome. So do we feel that you're going to be okay for those upcoming sports?
I should be able to play.
Gotcha. Awesome. Great to hear. Now, any goals that you have for yourself or from a team standpoint the rest of this year?
To let my knee heal fully and to be able to play next year.
Absolutely. Awesome. Great to hear. Well, appreciate you chatting with me, and wish you the best of luck on the road to recovery, and we'll be seeing you next year on the softball team.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Alrighty. And who am I speaking with next?
Brielle Shorg.
Brielle, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Great to hear. So, kind of introduce yourself, who your parents are, how old you are, that sort of thing.
My parents are Rob and Janelle Shorg. I'm 14 going into 9th grade.
Gotcha. So you're going to be a freshman this year. How has it been kind of your first year up here at the high school level? Has it been a difficult transition, or have you kind of felt you've slipped right into it?
I think it was a little bit of change, but the coaches are very transparent and speak with you well and help you learn a lot, so it's not as hard as you think it is.
Gotcha. I mean, same sport, same ball, same bat, same glove, maybe just a little faster up here at this level, so taking a little adjustment period, I'm sure. Talk to me a little bit about your positions that you play on defense.
I mostly play shortstop, and I can play anywhere. I've played second, third,
Sure.
a little bit of outfield, so I kind of can play anywhere, but right now I'm mostly playing shortstop.
And
So-
I'm a pitcher.
Gotcha. So you can do whatever coach needs, but shortstop's kind of your spot, your position that you'd say.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that position. Now, shortstop's one of those. You get a lot of balls hit your way on the infield and a very high workload. Is that something you're confident with?
Yeah, I'd say I'm confident. It's definitely difficult this year. I've been having a hard time grounding the ball, but I'm just trying to keep my head up and learn and just keep going.
Well, that's the thing, and it's an adjustment that you have to make, and I'm sure you're making it the best you can. Now, tell me a little bit about some of the upperclassmen. How have they been? Obviously, as you kind of a young person coming in on the team, has your experience with some of the older girls been a good one?
It's been good. They're really helpful. They give you lots of good advice to learn from. I was definitely scared at the beginning, but it turned out well. And It's okay.
Well, and that's one thing where it's like you're probably always nervous, as everyone is, and then it's like, oh, you can see that, and it's one thing where they were your age once, and then eventually a senior, and you're going to be talking to kids your age as well. So now tell me a little bit any goals you have, either for yourself or for an entire team.
Just keep playing well. One of my main goals is to play varsity more.
Gotcha.
I've been base running a little bit, so I hope I get more chances to do that.
Gotcha. Kind of just taking your opportunities as they come right now and hoping they just continue to give you some. Awesome. Brielle, thanks for chatting with me. We wish you the best of luck this year and best of luck in coming seasons.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, that was Brielle Shork. Alrighty, and coming up next, we have our next Remsen St. Mary's Hawks softball player. And as you can see out the window, folks, it has started raining, unfortunately. And who am I speaking with?
Kimberly Cronin.
How are you doing, Kimberly?
I'm good.
Awesome. So why don't you start by kind of introducing yourself for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with you. Let's go with how old you are, who your parents are, and that sort of thing.
I'm 14 years old, and my parents are Kent and Sheila. And
Gotcha.
I am playing with Marina this year before she goes off to college.
Gotcha. Awesome. And how has that been, kind of, with your experience being able to play with her?
It has been fun, but sometimes she gets mad at me for being annoying. But it's been a fun experience, and I'm able to learn from her about better things to get better at.
Yeah, awesome. Talk to me about the positions you play kind of on defense and where you find yourself in the field.
So on defense, I'm either at second or third or pitcher. These last few games I've been played at pitcher and third.
Gotcha.
So those are my main spots.
So really can play anywhere that you need to play to help the team, but pitcher and third base are kind of what you'd say, like you said, are your spots. Talk to me now about pitching, I should say. When you do get the opportunity to go in the circle and pitch, what's a strength of your pitching game that you think you have?
My strength is, I wouldn't say I don't have a lot of them, but I've just gotten better from the beginning of the season to able to keep my head up.
Sure.
Like my first few games, I was getting down on myself for walking batter after batter, and I've just come to the conclusion that if I keep my head up, I will keep doing better and better, and it's just...
Yeah, I love it. And exactly what you said. Baseball and softball, they're just as much mental as they are physical, and it's one of those things where if you kind of go down that rabbit hole, it just kind of keeps going down.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes some of those games where you kind of figure out, you're like, all right, if I stay mad, it's just going to be worse. So I got to find a way, and that's how it happens. You kind of have a few bad games where it does not go good. You kind of figure out, all right, let's push through this. So it's great to see that you've started to realize that here at the high school level. Now, talk to me about batting. Is that something that how have you done with batting this year?
I think I've done decent, but I can definitely do better than I have been batting.
Yeah, that's just one of those things. There's always room for improvement, and even if you are doing the best that you've ever been, there's always room to be better. Talk to me about any goals you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint this year that you're really looking forward to accomplishing.
For myself, mainly, I'm only accomplishing to get better at my positions and better at batting.
Awesome. Great to hear. Well, Kimberly, thanks so much for chatting with me. We wish you the best of luck the rest of this season and the best of luck in your future here at Remsen. Thanks so much. All righty, that was Kimberly Cronin. Now she's going to pass. All righty. All righty, and who am I speaking with?
Sophia Harpenel.
Sophia, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. So kind of introduce yourself and how old you are, who your parents are, and that sort of thing.
I'm 14 years old. My parents are Lee and Kara Harpenel, and I am one of 4 siblings.
Gotcha. Awesome. So talk to me a little bit about how it's been being on the team so far this year, and have you been learning some great stuff from some of the older kids on the team?
Yeah, I've been learning a lot from them, and I'd say it's a lot more comfortable than I thought it would be.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Maybe we're a little nervous at first, and
Yeah,
then kind
it
of get
was.
up here, and then hey, it's not as bad as I thought. Awesome. Talk to me defensively. Where do you find yourself? What positions do you play out in the field?
I play left. I played short a little bit, but now I'm playing second more.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about either shortstop or second base, because they're very similar positions and kind of that middle infield. To me, you have to really know what's going on with each other. Either if you're playing second base, you got to be in tune with your shortstop, or vice versa. Do you think you have a good relationship with whoever you're playing with on the other side of the bag at any given night?
I would say do. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
much.
Awesome, great to hear. Talk to me about your batting. How has that kind of been? Where do you really think you're at from offensively?
Well, my bang at the beginning of the season was pretty good, and then I kind of downfall. But now they've fixed it, so I'd say I'm pretty good for bang right now too.
Yeah, good. And softball and baseball, they're one of those sports where can be really streaky. You can be really, really good, and you're down for a little bit, and then you're right back good. So you just got to kind of keep it in the middle there as best you can. Awesome, great to hear. Any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint, the rest of this season?
For the team, I would say make it a state, because I know we can. I know we're good enough to. For myself, I just say not to get down myself and play the best I can.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck the rest of this season. Thanks so much for chatting. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Okay, can we get Coach next, maybe? Can we get Coach Harp next? All right, thank you. All righty, and our last but not least, who am I speaking with?
Faith Kelly.
Faith, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. So, kind of to start us off, why don't you start by introducing yourself for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's go how old you are, who your parents are.
I'm 14 years old. In July, I'll be 15. And my parents are Beth and Brian Kelly.
Gotcha. So are you going to be a freshman this year? Gotcha. So tell me a little bit how it's been your first year up here at the high school level. Has it been a difficult adjustment, or have you found it relatively easy?
It's been difficult at times, but the seniors, especially Maya, have made it really easy.
Sure. Maybe difficult, but the seniors help you out and make it easy. Awesome. Great to hear. Talk to me positionally, kind of what positions you play.
I play catcher, third, second, and a little bit of short.
Gotcha. So really a lot of different places. What would you say is the position that you're best at or most confident at, or your favorite even?
I feel like I'm a lot better at catcher because I've been doing it my entire little league.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about the catcher position. Very, very unique. You're kind of that only player facing that opposite way and have a full view of the field, and also kind of have to be very, very vocal and a leader. So what are your thoughts on that position?
It definitely gets hard because you have to make sure the outfield knows what's going on, but it comes easy to me because I am loud and I know what's going on most of the time.
Awesome. So kind of just one of those things that kind of maybe fits your personality a little bit as well. Awesome. Great to hear. Any goals that you have either for yourself or from a team standpoint this year?
I feel like my personal goal is being able to play at state, at state for base running.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck here, and hopefully we see you down at state, and hopefully you get to base run. So thanks so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, and that's going to be our final player interview. So without further ado, we're going to get Coach Harpenau in here. Coach, how are we doing today?
Good.
So why don't you kind of start by introducing yourself? How long have you been here coaching softball at Remsen St. Mary's?
Okay. Monty Harpenau. I've been coaching 8 years, 3 as an assistant, and this is my 5th year as the head coach.
Gotcha. So, tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the season this year. You guys have had a lot of success so far, and really nothing but success so far this season. So, your thoughts?
We started off kind of fast with the first couple games, getting out and scoring 12 runs. and then we kind of sat for a while, with rainouts and games getting moved, and then once we got into playing games every day or two, we kind of gotten into a groove again, and so yeah, it'll be nice if we get the game in tonight to keep that groove going, because last night's game got rained out, and coming off the big win last week against West Monona, it'd be good to get out and play tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk to me a little bit. I mean, is there anything in particular about this season that you found noticed different? That, I mean, you're undefeated up to this point. Is there anything special about this group here?
Well, I mean, it's close to the same group as last year, so it's just another year of experience.
Sure.
This has kind of been their goal to, improve on last year, and last year they only had one loss in the regular season. So far they're achieving their goals, and that's it's just day by day to do that. And I mean, it's really not anything different than what. It's just a year older, and probably a little better from the experience.
Sure, awesome. Now talk to me. What do you really think is the strong suit of the team? I mean, whether it's pitching, defense, offense. I mean, where do you think you're at?
To be honest, it's probably all three, but we really focus on defense, and that's what we build off of is the pitching. We always talk about locating with Marina and Josie, and then the defense behind. The closest game we had, we had 5 errors in, and I don't know. I told the girls after that game, I don't know if I ever have had a team since I've been here that had 5 errors in a game, and it sure wouldn't have been this one that you would have thought, but it's just the way the ball bounces. But the good thing about that game was every time the other team scored and got ahead, the next inning we came right back and took the lead back. So.
Gotcha. Awesome. Now, I've done a lot of these Meet the Teams so far this year, and you guys, I am surprised at how your offensive approach is from these girls. I mean, what I'm hearing from these girls, I'm asking, what's your approach? They're looking fastball. They're looking, it depends on the count. They're telling me. It depends on the situation. Like it seems to be that these girls are coached up really, really well in terms of approach and that sort of thing. So your philosophy in that regards.
I mean, we start on that the first time we start hitting, or we really work on a few at the end of every station of giving a girl a count, and we try not to work 2-strike counts because 2-strike count, you're putting the ball in play. We try to work being ahead so that you're really taking a big hack and hitting the ball hard somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, a large group of seniors this year, and like you mentioned, this year from last year, kind of the same group, but next year going to be a lot of different faces. So what are your thoughts on kind of the future of the program after your seniors are gone this next year?
You still got the pitching with Josie. I know with the rainouts, and she's had a little bit of a sore arm. We haven't thrown her as much varsity as we planned to this year, but Josie can be a dominant pitcher just like Marina. And then you still have a lot of pieces with Hallie Bunkers and Grace Gallus and Lana Jungers, who stepped in and played some varsity, Tessa Tenniger. So right there's half of a starting lineup, and then you add in the 8th graders that'll be a year older and freshmen, and got to learn from these guys of Brielle Shorg and Sophie Harpena and Maddie Kelly. There is a lot coming back. So so pitching is number 1, your catcher's number 2, and you got Hallie and Grace that have caught JV, and Hallie caught some varsity last year as an 8th grader. So I really think next year will be another good season for the Hawks softball program.
Awesome. Now let's see. Talk to me about what we have coming up here in the near future. Now we've got some rain here. I'm hearing some thunderheads here in the distance. So we have a game scheduled as of now, but not sure about that. But in terms of kind of the rest of this week and coming up here to conference tournament time, what do we got?
Right. So we got Alta Real tonight, if it happens, and then tomorrow night we have Akron at home, which is not the conference game, but still a big game. They're coming off of a big weekend where they beat West Lyon, who is ranked in 3A. They beat Hinton last night, who was tied with us at the top of the conference. So, and then Friday night we have Hinton. So, and then next week I believe we have West Sioux and George Little Rock to finish off our conference schedule. And So we got 3 games to get to win the conference outright right there, and we have Galen, which is not the conference game, next week too. So, and then the following week we have a couple games we picked up with Boyden Hall, Rock Valley, and with Spirit Lake. Just some games we're hoping to help us get ready for a tournament run.
Gotcha. So plenty of softball left yet here before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty and that important part of the season. So what's kind of been your message to the girls here over the past few games and before each game coming here into the future?
Going into the game is more so the last couple weeks has been just have fun, play your game. They're in a stretch where we were not really playing our ball. I just feel like they were putting the pressure on themselves that, now they're playing loose and having fun. And that's the biggest thing is this group of girls, when they're playing and having fun, they're hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to come hang out with you under some thunderstorms and interview the team. So we appreciate it.
Thanks for doing it.
Best of luck.
Thank you for watching this exclusive broadcast on Fuller Digital Solutions. To receive notifications and links about your favorite team's live streams, join our text club by scanning this QR code or text the word on the screen to the number shown. If your business would like to be a sponsor on broadcasts like this, please reach out to us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com. Join us all year long for coverage of your favorite team on Fuller Digital Solutions.